Sodbury at the Yarn Over Fest, and I'm here with the Thread of Time historical Distaff Spinners. Right, can you explain what historical Distaff Spinners?
That's more like yes. So this is our reconstruction of a historic European way of spinning. Every culture has their own way of spinning, depending on their conditions, the fibres they're spinning with, the products they want to get. And this is our reconstruction of how medieval people would have spun their thread to make their clothes and other textiles.
So is this how they started off originally, spinning onto like a wooden spindle? Is that a distaff?
This is the distaff.
That's the distaff.
The distaff holds your fibres. That's the spindle.
That's the spindle. Helps if I get that sorted out in the first place.
There's lots of different ways of spinning, and they've changed through time. This is the way that we can document as being done from the 12th century through, in some places, even up to the present day, although it's very uncommon now, and only in a few rather distant parts of Eastern Europe as far as we can tell.
How long have you two been spinning for?
I've been spinning all together for nearly 40 years. I've been spinning with the distaff for about the last 9 years.
And what got you into spinning with a distaff?
I was interested in living history, and I wanted to spin for living history. And I've been doing living history for about, they always do, don't they? Yes. I can't remember.
A long while. Obviously a long while.
A couple of decades at least, I think.
Oh wow.
And I wanted to spin for living history, but I realised that what you see in the medieval manuscripts is not what most people were doing for reenactment, which was spinning with this type of spindle, which is drop spindle, and they weren't using distaffs, and they were just drafting between their hands. So I realised that I needed to learn a different way to do it, and it was in fact meeting Alice and Mary, our other colleagues. They had already got into distaff spinning, and I saw what they were doing, and I thought, I can do that. And I went home, found myself a distaff, just a hazel stick cut from the woods where I used to go shoot my longbow, and I bought a medieval style spindle and got started learning. It took a technique to pick up at first, but I was determined to do it because I wanted to do it for living history.
How do you know how much to take from the yarn? Is that something that you learn in time?
No, it depends on how long the staple of your fleece is. The fleece that I'm using is the same breed as this one. That's how long the staple is. So I don't need to pull more than about half that length each time I draft.
And the costumes, are they based on what people would have worn?
Yes, both of these outfits are based on finds from Greenland, from a site called Høyåsnes, which is probably not how you spell it, it's my best attempt. That's where a lot of clothing was preserved in the permafrost. So we actually have real garments that were preserved, and we've got patterns that have been developed from those, which is what these garments are based on. My blue and Jane's grey, and my green dress is based on finds from London in the foreshore. So as close as we can get, based on the finds and on manuscript images, to what people wore in the mid to late 14th century.
Okay, so how did they get it to be blue? Because did they used to dye that?
Dyed cloth was very popular. All sorts of colours are very achievable with natural dyes, particularly on fibres like wool. Yeah. Jane does quite a bit of natural dyeing with medieval and modern available natural dyes. And you can get some wonderfully vivid colours, can't you?
In fact, I grow my own plants. I have my own dye garden.
Oh, right.
So that's where I get my colours from.
Oh my goodness. So what sort of colours? Tell me some of the colours.
Reds, yellows and blues, obviously, and if you mix the yellows and the blues
you get all the different colours, don't you?
Yeah. Well, you get greens, and depending on which shade of yellow you use, you can get a huge variety of different greens. You can also use modifiers to change the colours as well.
Yeah.
So whether you use an alkaline modifier or an acid modifier, you can change the colours, shift them one way or the other.
And how long does it take to say get 20 grams or whatever on there? Or do you go by weight?
We usually go by length when we're working this out, because it's a very easy way of doing it. It's not so subjective as weight, because of course a lump of 20 grams of very thick yarn or 20 grams of very thin yarn is a very different thing. So we usually work it out on weights, and 100 metres an hour is achievable with this method. Very achievable. 100 metres in an hour. So not comparable. Yes. So not comparable with modern wheel spinning at all. But it compares quite favourably with most people's drop spinning.
Yeah.
We're working on studies to try and work out exactly how efficient it is, but it works quite well.
I love the way you're spinning yours round on there. It's just, hers is fatter.
It looks quite pleasing.
Yours will be like that eventually.
Like a little globe going
round.
round.
To get yours to look like that.
That long.
About an hour, couple of hours. And is this something you do every day?
I do it every week.
Every week,
shall we say. I'm afraid modern living time does not permit to do it every day. Otherwise I would. But yeah, definitely every week. I've spun something every week.
And are you the same? You get it done?
I do it less, as between other commitments like work and animals, spinning comes last a lot of the time. So it happens less, but I do find it's a bit like riding a bike. The first few minutes might be wobbly, but usually you pick it up pretty quickly. But you can see my quality isn't the same as Jane's, because practice. If I put in more practice, I get better, and I don't, because things have priority.
Does it make your fingers sore?
If I haven't spun in a long time, and then I pick up spinning with one of my heavy whirls, it can make my fingers ache, because I'm not accustomed to it. But the whirl has lanolin in it naturally, so that does help condition your fingers a little.
Ladies, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for explaining all that to us. It's absolutely fascinating. And I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next year.
Hopefully, we look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.